Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto Nara Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nashtaprayev Shabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shlokem Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Part 2, Chapter 32, Entanglement in Fruitive Activities, Text 9 to 11. Text 9. Chamam Buna Nilaviyam Mana Indrayartha Bhuta Devim Parivritam Patishanjihirshu Avyaktritam Vishatiyarhi Gunatrayatmam Kalam Parakyam Anubhuya Parasvayambhu. Synonyms. Shama, earth. Amba, water. Anada, fire. Anida, air. Piyat, ether. Manaha, mind. Indriya, the senses. Artha, the objects of the senses. Bhuta, ego. Advihim, and so on. Parivritram, covered by. Pratijastin jirsu, designed to the soul. Avyakritam, the changeless spiritual sky. Vishati, he enters. Yarhi, at which time. Gunatraya Atma, consisting of the three modes. Kalam, the time. Parakyam, two parardhas. Anubhuyam, after experiencing. Para, the chief. Svayambhu, Lord Brahman. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. After experiencing the inevitable time of the three modes of material nature, known as two parardhas, Lord Brahma closes the material universe, which is covered by layers of earth, water, air, fire, ether, mind, ego, etc., and goes back to Godhead. Purport. The word Avyakritam is very significant in this verse. The same meaning is stated in Bhagavad Gita in the word Sanatana. This material world is Vyakrita, or subject to changes, and it finally dissolves. But after the dissolution of this material world, the manifestation of the spiritual world, the Sanatana Dham, remains. That spiritual sky is called Avyakrita, that which does not change, and there the Supreme Personality of Godhead resides. When, after ruling over the material universe under the influence of the time element, Lord Brahma desires to dissolve it and enter into the kingdom of God, others then enter with him. Text 10. Evam paritya bhagavatam anupravishtam ye yogino jitamadum manaso vidagaham tenaiva shakkamam nityam purusham puranam brahma pradhamam upayanti agata vimana. Synonyms. Evam, thus, paritya, having gone a long distance. Bhagavatam, Lord Brahma. Anupravishta, enter, ye, those who, yogina, yogis, jita, control, marut, the breathing, manasa, the mind, viraga, detach, tena, with Lord Brahma, eva, indeed, sakam, together, amritam, the embodiment of bliss, purusham, into the personality of Godhead, puranam, the oldest, Brahma Pradhanam, the Supreme Brahman. Upayanti, they go. Agata, not gone. Abhimanaham, whose false ego. Translation. The yogis who become detached from the material world by practice of breathing exercises and control of the mind reach the planet of Brahman, which is far, far away. After giving up their bodies, they enter into the body of Lord Brahma. And therefore, when Brahma is liberated and goes to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Supreme Brahman, such yogis can also enter into the kingdom of God. Purport. By perfecting their yogic practice, yogis can reach the highest planet, Brahmaloka or Satyaloka. And after giving up their material bodies, they can enter into the body of Lord Brahman, because they are not directly devotees of the Lord. They cannot get liberation directly. They have to wait until Brahma is liberated, and only then, along with Brahma, are they also liberated. It is clear that as long as a living entity is a worshipper of a particular demigod, his consciousness is absorbed in thoughts of that demigod, and therefore he cannot get direct liberation or entrance into the kingdom of God, nor can he merge into the impersonal effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such yogis or demigod worshippers are subjected to the chance of taking birth again when there is again creation. Text 11. Atatam sarva bhutanam kritpadam shrukritalem Shrutanubhavam sharanam praja bhavena bhaminim. Synonyms. Atam, therefore, Tam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sarva Bhutanam, of all living entities, Krit Padmashu, in the lotus hearts, Krita Alayam, residing, Shruta Anubhavam, whose glories you have heard, Sharanam, onto the shelter, Braja, go, Bhavana, by devotional service. Bhamini, my dear mother. Translation. Therefore, my dear mother, by devotional service, take direct shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is seated in everyone's heart. Again. Therefore, my dear mother, by devotional service, take direct shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is seated in everyone's heart. Purport. Once one can attain direct contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in full Krishna consciousness and revive one's eternal relationship with Him as lover, as Supreme Soul, as son, as friend, or a master. One can reestablish the transcendental love relationship with the Supreme Lord in so many ways. And that feeling is true oneness. The oneness of the Mayavadi philosophers and the oneness of Vaishnava philosophers are different. The Mayavadi and Vaishnava philosophers both want to merge into the Supreme, but the Vaishnavas do not lose their identities. They want to keep the identity of lover, parent, friend, or servant. In the transcendental world, the servant and master are in one. That is the absolute platform. Although the relationship is servant and master, both the servant and the served stand on the same platform. That is oneness. Lord Kapila advised his mother that she did not need any indirect process. She was already situated in that direct process because the Supreme Lord had taken birth as her son. Actually, she did not need any further instruction because she was already in the perfectional stage. Kapila Dev advised her to continue in the same way. He therefore addressed him addressed his mother as Brahmani to indicate that she was already thinking of the Lord as her son. Devahuti is advised by Lord Kapila to take directly to devotional service, Krishna consciousness, because without that consciousness, one cannot become liberated from the clutches of Maya. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutare Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunavadi Paschata Deshatarine Nahata Paraya Sena Prabhupada Satirstaye Sankirtan Prabhatirti Hati Gurave Namaha Om Agyanatiminam Dasya Gyanandala Shalakaya Chakshiruminitam Janatasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. I was born in darkness of ignorance, then my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisance unto him. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Good morning. Thank you all for joining and for once again giving me the opportunity to serve my Guru Maharaj, the Yatra, and getting an opportunity to purify my heart. So 2 Paratmas constitute Brahman's life. 1 day of Brahma, of 1,000 divine years, is the period of cosmic manifestation, and 1 night of Brahma, of equal length, is the period of non-manifestation. And so all the Mahatattva goes back to the Supreme Controller, or Supreme Provider. And in his purport, Srila Prabhupada emphasizes the importance of the word Avyakritam. Avyakritam, the chainless spiritual sky, the manifestation of the spiritual world, the Sanatana Dhamma, not Sanatana Dharma, Sanatana Dhamma, the place, remains, and is that spiritual sky called Vyakrita, the place where the Supreme Personality of Godhead resides, ever eternal, unchanging, supreme destination. The material manifestation, however, and the yogis who are not engaged in bhakti, but are rather looking to merge into the Brahma Jyoti, then they merge once in that Brahma Jyoti, Lord Brahma, and they are liberated only when Lord Brahma is liberated. But then again, they have to come back to the material creation. So it is clear that as long as the living entity is the worshipper of a particular demigod, his consciousness is absorbed in the thoughts of that demigod. Then Lord Kapila explains very clearly to his mother, Devahuti, that, my dear mother, by devotional service, take direct shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is seated in everyone's heart. Now, this is important because he's seated in everyone's heart. It's not only in human beings' heart, it's in every single living entity. Therefore, we have to be careful and compassionate towards every single living entity. And as devotees or aspiring devotees, we must understand that the true meaning of Krishna's ultimate benediction is to be able to remember him, particularly when we face our ultimate test. And we must understand that to get devotional service, we need to get rid of our anarthas. We need to have an important ingredient, and that is desire. The desire to connect to the Lord, the desire to receive the Lord, because he's there, ready to give us his mercy. But are we ready to receive it? There is a common saying, right? Opportunities will come knocking at your door. But I think we should add, we need to get up and open the door. Otherwise, such opportunities would also pass. Devotees also do not aspire to merge with the Lord or have an elevated position. A true devotee only cares on serving the Lord in any capacity. Because after all, that is our true constitutional position, right? We have mentioned many times, Jivaris Swarupa Haya Krishna Nityadas. And devotional service is actually, when we are establishing devotional service, is sincere, unmotivated, unlimited, uninterrupted. And to reach that pure goodness, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us wonderful instructions, but we need to be ready to accept them, to practice them, and to ultimately apply them. He has told us in the first three texts, the wonders. No, sorry. In the first text, he has given us the wonders of chanting the holy name. What does he do? Cleansing the heart, etc. Then the next one, he tells us how anyone can take up this chanting with no fast rules, regulations. Anybody can take up chanting. So far easy. But then in the third verse, he indicates how we are supposed to chant. And the key ingredients here are respect, humility, and tolerance. So we need to embrace these three if you want to receive or continue to receive any benedictions. How are we going to move to the fourth instruction, which is the beginning of surrendering and so forth, when we are not humble, we're not respectful, we're not tolerant? And as we read Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see they are connecting us, they're guiding us in the process of Sambandha, Abhidaya, and Prayojana, namely establishing one's original relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, the way we are supposed to conduct ourselves according to that constitutional relationship, in Prayojana, the ultimate goal of life, which is to develop love of God, Krishna Prema. And what is the difference between Bhakti Yoga and any other type of yoga? Well, we are meditating, we are not following yoga, but we are having any other process. We do that ourselves, right? We just connect, we are meditating in that light, try to connect to that or merge into that Brahma Jyoti, and it's just us. Sometimes we don't even pay attention to the being in our heart, right? So it's us. But in Bhakti Yoga, two persons are needed. One is a devotee and the other one is the Lord, the object of our prayer, and the object of our meditation. That's the Lord. Because the more we come to know the Lord, the more we're going to love the Lord. So this is very important, and this is why Lord Kapila is instructing his mother in this way. She already has a personal relationship with the Lord, with his son. He has already instructed her. And through all the instructions he has given in these wonderful chapters, we understand that the Lord is everywhere. The Lord is in our heart, is in the heart of every single living entity, that the Lord is there to guide us, but we want to make sure that we are listening to the Lord, that we are ready to receive the message, that we are ready to practice the instructions, to apply the instructions, to practice the instructions that have been given to us in all this Shastra. Even parrots can recite beautifully if they are trained, but can they apply it? Can they understand it? So the difference between human beings and rest of the species is that we have the intelligence by which we can make that connection and allow our mind direct properly our senses so that everything is used for the service of the Lord. I think